My sister slept with my boyfriend of 3 years. 6 months later, my mom called it a family emergency and expected me to save her. The moment I saw his hoodie on my mother's couch, I knew, not suspected, knew. I'd bought him that hoodie. I was standing beside him when he pulled it off the rack, debating between gray and navy. He chose gray. There was a small bleach spot near the left pocket from the night he helped me scrub my bathroom floor, and the drawstring was frayed at one end because he chewed on it whenever he was lost in thought. I knew every inch of that thing the way you know something that's been woven into your everyday life for 3 years. My mom walked in right as I picked it up. She didn't have to say a word. The look on her face said everything. I set the hoodie down, folded it carefully, and drove home. I sat in my car for 2 hours before I could make myself go inside. 3 years. That's what my sister took from me in 4 months. 3 years of a relationship that wasn't perfect but was real. The kind of real that's built slowly, out of small, consistent things. He knew my coffee order without asking. He knew I needed 15 quiet minutes after work before I could talk to anyone. He knew I hated when people spoke during movies. He paid the kind of attention that most people don't bother with. I helped him pay rent when he lost his job. I skipped my own birthday dinner to sit with him when he had the flu. I drove 40 minutes at 2 in the morning because he had a panic attack and couldn't be alone. I showed up every single time. For 3 years, I showed up. I met him at 18. He was 20, rough around the edges. Not great at expressing himself, but the kind of person who proved himself through action rather than words. And that meant everything to me. My sister met him at a family cookout the summer of our 2nd year together. She was 23. That night, she told me she hadn't known I had such good taste. I smiled and let it go. I shouldn't have. I noticed the small shifts afterward. Her appearing at dinner she'd normally skip, texting my mom more, being warmer to me in a way that felt slightly off. I mentioned it to him once. He told me I was reading into nothing, so I dropped it. I should have trusted myself. When I finally called him, he didn't deny it. He said it just happened. Said he hadn't meant for it to go that far. Said he was sorry, but the words landed hollow, like he'd rehearsed them for a different audience. I hung up and never spoke to him again. My sister called the next morning. I thought she was reaching out to apologize. Instead, she told me she hadn't been able to help what she felt, that she'd been holding it back for months, and that she hoped I could eventually understand. I hung up. That was the last real conversation we had. I blocked both of them everywhere, changed my number, and began the slow, grinding work of rebuilding. New apartment, new routine, new people. I did it completely alone, because that's what I had. Alone. Not one person in my family called to check on me. Not one person asked whether I was sleeping, whether I was eating, whether I was surviving. The silence from the people who were supposed to love me settled on top of the betrayal like a second weight. It made everything heavier. 6 months later, I was stable. Not healed, not whole, but functional. That's when my mom called. My sister was 8 months pregnant. The baby's father was gone. Eviction in 30 days. No money saved, no food, nothing ready. My mom's voice was urgent, purposeful. Blood is blood, she said. Sisters show up for each other. I was quiet for a moment, then I asked her one question. When I was falling apart, when I couldn't eat, couldn't sleep, when I was having panic attacks in my car every morning before work, where was the family emergency then? Where were the phone calls? Where was anyone? She went silent. And I understood, completely and finally, that in this family, support only flows in one direction. My pain was something to move past. My sister's chaos was something to mobilize around. I told my mother I loved her and hung up. My sister has been texting my new number ever since. My mother gave it to her within 2 weeks of me sharing it for emergencies only. The messages started gentle, became desperate, then turned sharp. She called me cold, said I wasn't a real sister, said I'd regret this. I've read every single one. I haven't responded to any of them because I already know exactly what I won't regret.